Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to share how to not get nervous speaking English in public, and I'm going to share with you my 5 best public speaking tips to help you feel confident walking into any room and share your ideas confidently. Of course, I'm Jennifer Forrest, and this channel is dedicated to helping you feel confident speaking English in public so you can take your career and your life to the next level. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this lesson. Do you get nervous right before you're about to speak English in public? Maybe your hands start to shake or your heart starts racing or you get that feeling in your stomach. Does that ever happen to you? Well, don't worry, because in this video, we're going to talk about how to not get nervous speaking English in public in any situation. But before we begin with my 5 best tips, I just want you to know one thing. It's totally normal. That reaction that you get, that physical reaction, is absolutely normal. Did you know that public speaking is the #1 fear in the entire world? And that's in your own native language. So you can imagine how much more difficult it is when you're speaking in a foreign language in front of people. So first of all, just know there's nothing wrong with you. It's totally normal to have that reaction. Now, let's talk about the 5 tips that you can use to feel confident and not get nervous when you're speaking in public. Tip number 1. The first thing that I want you to do is relax. Now, when I say I want you to relax, I'm talking about your physical body. I want you to physically relax your body. Because when we're nervous, when we're under stress, we also tighten. We tighten up our body. But did you know that it has been scientifically proven by the medical community that you cannot feel stress if your body is physically relaxed? So just relax your back, relax your arms, relax this area of your chest and stomach as well. So just relax, relax. But I want you to still maintain good posture, because it isn't very professional to be hunched over in a bad position, although it is very relaxing to do something like that. So you need to relax your body, but still maintain a professional position for when you're speaking. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to use positive visualization. Because let me guess, when you think about speaking in public, not that you're actually speaking in public, but when you just think about speaking in public, most likely a negative image comes to mind. You imagine the audience judging you because you made a grammar mistake, or judging you because your accent is too thick, or you imagine yourself forgetting all your words and not knowing what to say. You imagine yourself not being able to answer the question. You imagine yourself feeling really nervous and not confident and doing a bad job. Well, guess what? Do you think having all of those negative images in your mind are going to help you feel confident going into a situation? Isn't it just a normal reaction that you would feel stress and nervousness if you anticipate something negative happening? That is your body doing its job. If you have a negative image in your mind and your body reacts negatively, everything is working properly. That is what your body is meant to do. So one thing that you can do is to change those mental images. Change them to successful images. Imagine yourself opening your mouth and having the words flow out confidently. Imagine the audience cheering for you and telling you you did an amazing job. Imagine yourself standing in front of that audience feeling confident and feeling proud. Now, do you think you would have a different feeling in your body if you had all of those positive images instead of negative images? Well, of course, the answer is yes. So you need to work on your positive visualization. Tip number 3 is to focus on your audience and not yourself. Now, when I use the word audience, I'm not talking about a 100-person TED Talk, although that may be the case. Your audience could be one person, your boss, your coworker, your friend, a hiring manager. It could be just one person. But a lot of students, when they go into a real situation and they're going to be speaking, they're focused on themselves. They're focused on their accent, their English, their feelings, their emotions. But aren't you forgetting the reason why you're public speaking anyway? You have a message to share, right? Maybe your message is simply updating your boss on the status of the project. Maybe your message is explaining to the hiring manager why you would be the perfect choice for the position. Now, if you go into a situation and you're only thinking about yourself and you're not thinking about your audience, well, that's kind of selfish, isn't it? And when you think just about yourself, it's going to be more likely that you have all of these hesitations and negative thoughts and judgments and fears. But if you put all your focus on your audience, then you're not focusing on your English skills or your fear, your anxiety. And if we don't put focus on something, it will just naturally minimize. So if we don't focus on our anxiety and our nervousness and we focus on the audience and the information you want to share with that audience, your message, well then you're going to just feel more relaxed, less nervous, and your audience is going to really appreciate the attention that you're giving them, and it's going to make them think that you really care. So it's going to help you feel less nervous and also help you impress your audience at the same time. Tip number 4 is to structure your ideas. Imagine you needed to go to a job interview in a different part of town, a different part of your city that you've never been to before. And you get in your car and you don't have a GPS and you just start driving. Are you going to feel a little bit nervous? A little bit nervous that you might get lost? A little bit nervous that you might not get there in time? A little bit nervous that you have no idea where you're going or how you're going to get there? Well, of course you would feel nervous in that situation if you were going somewhere new without a GPS, right? Well, if you go into a situation where you're public speaking, in a meeting, in a job interview, giving a presentation, and you have no idea how you're going to begin, how you're going to transition to your next idea, and how you're going to end, you're going to feel nervous, right? It's the same situation trying to get to a location without a GPS. Well, in this situation, when we're talking about public speaking, structures, simple structures are going to help you get to your message in a very easy way, in a very organized way. Just like a GPS helps you get to your destination in a very easy to follow way. So a simple structure that you can use is you need an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. If you go into a job interview and you know how to start your answer and you know how to end your answer, that's already going to make you feel a lot more confident and feel less nervous. And if you know what to put in the body of your answer as well. And you can do that in any situation. You can have a simple introduction, body, conclusion for anything you're asked. Even in a social situation when you're telling your friend about what you did last night or your upcoming vacation. In any situation you're communicating, you don't want to just open your mouth and see what comes out, because most likely what comes out isn't going to be very good. And that's going to make you feel very nervous. But if you open your mouth and you have a clear beginning, middle, and end, and you know how to transition from the beginning, middle, and end, then you're going to feel confident and you're not going to feel nervous. And tip number 5 is to practice, practice, practice. Now, when you go into a job interview, of course you should practice. Many people practice the day before, the night before, as they're driving to the job interview. And obviously you're going to feel nervous if you've only practiced once or twice. You need to practice again and again and again and again and again. If you feel a lot of nervousness, that's probably just your body telling you that you haven't prepared. And you prepare by practicing. Now, some nervousness is natural and will always be there, even if you do practice and prepare. So you're not looking for zero nervousness, but you are looking for a low level of nervousness where it doesn't impact your message. And you can practice any situation. You can practice answering questions you weren't expecting. And then when you're asked a question you weren't expecting, you'll feel confident because of all the practice you've done in the past. So if you want to feel confident, it's absolutely going to come from practicing and preparing. So now you have my 5 best tips to help you not get nervous speaking English in public. So let me know in the comments, which tip was your favorite? Which one are you going to start using today? So let me know in the comments, and also if you have an additional tip you would like to share with your fellow students, well then put that in the comments as well. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.